Are we streaming? Hey everybody, how are you? I just hope you are live and welcome to the show. Wherever you are, good morning / evening. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having an awesome time. And I also hope that you're making it an awesome day. So today, we are going to solve your questions. Every question that you have. You see, here's how it works. Whenever I make a tutorial, there's a comment, there's a doubt you guys have, but the problem is it's very difficult to answer you guys in the comments, very difficult to answer you guys in person. Every other person might have the same problem. So I'm starting a new series. It's not a new series. I'm starting a new practice where I will answer your questions, whatever question you have, based on the tutorials that you have seen. All right, so let me go ahead and quickly share this on Facebook and Twitter so that everybody will be able to see. All right, so is the audio right? Is the video right? Let me know if everything is right or not. All right, so meanwhile, I'll just share. And could you do me a little favor? Just a little favor. If you can, please go ahead and share this in your social media. If you think somebody would help from this, please go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'll just go ahead very quickly do it. All right, just give me a little moment. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm here to answer. Let me know where you guys from. We'll be very happy to welcome you over here. So, all right, so there you go, there we are. All right, so a lot of comments, guys, a lot of comments. Great to see you guys here over here. Very, very happy to see you guys. Now, hi, hey man, love your videos. Hey, hi everybody. Hi Kaushalya, hi Agnes. Japan, amazing. I've always loved to make a trip of Japan. Pritam says you're so cute. Thank you so much. I seldom do get that comment. Amitabh Mukherjee says good evening, man. Nicole says hi, hey Viprab. Thank you so much for all the messages. If you have any questions, let me know. I have your images ready. As you can see, I'll just go head over to my Photoshop screen. So this is my Photoshop screen. K. Ahmed says, hi from Jordan. Amazing, K. Ahmed. Doshi says, greeting from Grishu. And guys, could you tell me how many people are there online right now? Because I really cannot see because I'm monitoring a couple of things right here. So let me know how many people are there online watching this video right now. So Anmol Pandey says, hi, are you from India? Yes, definitely I'm from India. I'm in Mumbai right now. Vertex Design says, I'm from India. Hey, great. Namaste. Hi from Noida. Hi. Okay, hi from Denmark. Amazing. Bulgaria. Wow. I love your teaching. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Now, let's go ahead and answer your questions. The question that you might have, let me just go ahead and answer a few of them. So, before you have questions, I have a couple of tips and techniques to show you. All right. So, you are me, teacher. Thank you. All right. So, here we have something called the autumn picture. This one. Okay, so in that tutorial that I did, skin color tutorial, this is the before, this is the after. We can add skin color to a person. When I posted this, just after I posted this, one of my very talented friends, Troy, he told me that you can do this in frequency separation, and that is very interesting. Okay, so Troy Davidson, his name, he's an awesome photographer. You got to go ahead and check out his work. All right, so if you're doing something high end, right? If you're doing something high end, instead of having this layer over here, so right now what it is, all right, just let me show you what it actually is. So what we did, create a solid color adjustment layer, choose a peachy skin tone, just like this, something like, for example, something like this. And then we head over to multiply, change it to multiply, and then mask the skin in. I'm just going to copy the mask by holding Alt or Option, click and drag it and paste it over there. Replace layer mask. Yes. Okay. So we have it on the skin, just on the skin right now. So here's what you need to do. Decrease the opacity to somewhere around probably 17, 20, whatever. Now, once you do it, it adds a color to the skin. Have a look at the before and after. So this is the before, this is the after. Here's what you can also do. This is also exciting. So this is the original layer. I'll just go ahead and delete that. This is the same thing, perfect color. Make 2 copies of the background layer, just as you do in frequency separation, Just turn it off and name the bottom one color and name the top one. This is frequency separation, and top one details. All right. Now in the color layer, just turn off the details for a second, then go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. Now just click on separate areas. First of all, let's decrease the blur to 0.1. Now check separate areas. Okay, so this is the area with the most texture. So I'll just click on in here and I'll just increase the radius and stop at just when the point where all of the texture go away. So let's just go ahead and increase it quite a bit. So this is the nice number to be at. Now let's check this area. So there are a couple of textures left over there. So I'll just go ahead and increase it even more. Let's see whether this area, okay, that's fine. 7.5, it seems to be a good number. Okay, now this is the blurred layer. This contains all the color. And the details layer will contain all the details. So how do we get a layer which contains just the details? We remove the color layer from it. Simple, we subtract it from there. So very simple to do. Go to image and then apply image, as you have guessed, right? And then what do we want to subtract? We want to subtract the color layer. So we'll select color. What do we want to do? We want to subtract it. So blending mode, subtract the values of 2, 128 as scale and offset. Sorry. Why these values, by the way? There's a separate video on frequency separation explaining the physics of why these values are over there. Now, once you are satisfied, of course, you're satisfied with this, hit OK, and then change the blend mode of this one to linear light. Now, it gives you the same thing, right? If you make a group of it, before, after, it's the same thing. Now, both of them combine. So we want to affect just the colors. We don't want to affect the texture. So instead of applying it over all the image, we can apply it between, which means only on the color. It just applies on the color instead of the texture also. So it makes a difference, not much of a difference, but it makes a difference. If I just go ahead and increase the opacity too much, I'll just show you what the difference is. Okay, so this is in between, the way I taught you right now, the Troy's idea. Okay, so if I put it above all, it kind of takes away the texture, but if you put it between the details and the color, you have it, right? It's interesting, isn't it? So in these tutorials, the skin color tutorial or any of the tutorials of mine that you have seen over the last 2 weeks, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and take a couple of comments. All right, so I want Illustrator tutorials from you. I'm not a master of Illustrator, so I will not teach anything which I myself am not a master of. When I'm fixing black and white face to color, it's good to copy the skin without the features. I suck at painting faces. Fixing black and white face to color, is it good to copy the skin without the feature? I didn't get your question. I'm very sorry. Oh, Assalam bhai from Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum. Did I say that right? Let me know. All right. Hey Unmesh, I have sent you a request. Can you kindly check and advise me? I'll just go ahead and check. Actually, there are thousands of requests pending. It's just a hard time going through all of them. All right. So, bro, I want some Illustrator. Man, I need to master that first. Okay. So, Kerala, keep up your good work. Thank you so much, Rohan. Great to hear that. All right, so where is everybody joining in? Let me know. And how is the video output? Is the video lagging? Is the video okay? It seems like the video is lagging. Okay, now if you guys have any questions regarding all these tutorials, let me know. And also I'm gonna go ahead quickly check out the stream health really quickly. I'll just check that out. Okay, all right, stream health is looking a little red-ish. I'll just check out this thing. Okay. So is the video quality right? Let me know whether the video quality is right or not. If it's not right, I'll just go ahead and reconnect my computer. All right, so I'll reconnect to a different internet connection if the video is not right. Let me know how the video is, okay? So because YouTube is showing me that the video quality is not good, it's poor, but my streamer is showing that it's okay. All right, so if you have any questions, meanwhile, let me know. I'll just read your comments. Video quality is perfect. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Okay. All right. So love your tutorials. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. 720p. Yes, it is supposed to be 720p because my camera and my screen is actually 720p. So it makes no sense to stream at 1080p. Okay. All right. So talk about skin color. I already did talk about that. Now you obviously need to just decrease the opacity of the same, just like this. Okay, so have a look at the before and after. So the before, after, interesting, isn't it? Now it's too much again. We'll just go ahead and decrease the opacity of this to 23. Not sure if I missed a video on complete skin retouching. Yes, you did, or maybe you did not. There's actually a playlist on skin retouching, everything about skin retouching in Photoshop. Just go ahead and check out that playlist. Go to my channel, click on playlist, and there you will find that playlist. I've started learning Photoshop just now. Any advice to keep the motivation and keep going? Just keep creating images. Just keep creating images. Keep sharing it. And don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about whether people are liking or not, how many shares you get. It's about your own contentment. That's all there is. And keep learning new tricks and you'll be happy. If that is giving you a thrill, you're on the right track. If that is not giving you enjoyment, I'm not going to lie to you, but if that is not giving you any enjoyment, that's not your thing. It's something else. All right. So can celebrate best printing practice while outputting from Photoshop Cmyk. Okay, make sure you change that to Cmyk. But nowadays, most printers do a very good job in printing RGB. And also, you might also consider printing it from Lightroom because there are a lot more printing features over there in Lightroom. Also, if you're printing from a Canon printer, it has its own software. So make sure you go through the software wizard. All right. So, brother, can you create fashion magazine, please? I'll consider that maybe in future. Hey, how to turn off slow mode? Why do you want to turn off slow mode? I don't use pen tool often since it's often trouble. Why do you want to use pen tool? Even I don't use often the pen tool, but sometimes it's required. Sometimes your image needs the pen tool. And sometimes when you have those hard edges, pen tool is often the way to go. Most of the advertisements that you see on the billboard use pen tool. It's really great. It's really good curves that it gives. I did see a quick tutorial about skin sharpening using a Gaussian and high pass. I want to find the right number to set for Gaussian and high pass filter values. So you see the right numbers. For high pass, you need to find a number where the edges are pronounced, just the edges, okay? So for the high pass, just decrease all the way to 0.1, okay? All the way to 0.1 and then increase it gradually. Just when you see that the edges are pronounced, keep on increasing it. Just when you see the halos coming around, just when you see the bright areas around the edges coming along, just stop then and there and hit OK. How to make design for t-shirt printing? Please make a video about this. Just as you make a normal design, just create a normal design, give it to the t-shirt printer, and it's pretty much good to go. Is it better if you use a tablet for Photoshop to use brush sensitivity or leave it by default? A tablet for Photoshop to use brush sensitivity or leave it by default? Man, if you're using a tablet, you must use the brush sensitivity feature. It depends upon the usage, whatever you're doing. You might turn it off, turn it on, but sometimes, especially you're doing dodging and burning, it becomes really essential that you turn on brush sensitivity. I personally don't use a tablet, so I can't say much about it. Okay, I need to learn about product photography, flowers, chocolates. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. There's, by the way, already a photo tutorial on that, product photography at home tutorial on my channel. Just go ahead and check that out if you want to. Have you bought Photoshop or you... Come on, man. It is a, how shall I say, I have a Creative Cloud all app subscription. What do you want? Now listen to me. I wanted to address this. Really quickly. Look, if you are a student or if you are a teacher, you get 60% off on the software. 60% off. I don't see why you cannot afford it. Listen, if you want to learn, if you're learning painting, you gotta buy the colors. You gotta buy the brushes. You have to do that. You cannot steal that from the shop. You cannot do that. If you're using illegal Photoshop, it's just like stealing. It's like losses on the people who developed it, people who made it. If you're in India and if you're a student, Photoshop will just cost you $300 a month with the discount. $300 a month. Come on, man. And you get all the updates and you get all the library features. You get everything and you have no bugs. You have bugs, but you don't have the bugs that the crack version has. So I don't know how people eat dinners worth thousands of rupees and spend on food and clothes and stuff. And just when it comes to software, when it comes to something that you're really passionate about, you don't want to spend it. I don't know how that works. Okay, so I'm very sorry about being rude at this point. Okay, so flowers editing, chocolate editing 1 tutorial. Brother, I emailed you about Photoshop. Man, I get a lot of emails. Premiere Pro video editing tutorials. I'm not a master of it. Removing objects, what is the best way to do this? Okay, so there is again a playlist. I guess there is a video even on removing things in Photoshop. So there are a couple of things that you can use to remove things. Obviously, check out the content aware fill. That's a really awesome way to get through it. If that doesn't solve your problem, you can always use the other, the conventional tools like the spot healing, patch, and everything. And there's also a video on the patch tool. So inside of patch tool, there's a lot of other features that you can use. So there's diffusion, and you can really customize that. Just check out that video. That will be helpful to you. On how to remove anything in Photoshop or patch tool hack, just check that video out. This live stream is just for questions that you might have. Okay, any advice for Photoshop manipulation? Look, when it comes to manipulation, there's a key thing to remember always. Make sure that every element, whether it's the subject, whether it's the background, whether it's any other element, make sure the color is matching. Make sure the lightness is matching. So two things you gotta match. Luminosity values, number 2, that is the color. Also match the direction of light. So if the direction of light in the subject is from the right, in the background also it has to be from the right. If it's from the left, man, it's gonna create a problem. It's gonna look like as if it's manipulated. Okay, what mic are you using? I'm using the Samsung C01U Pro, and this is one of the mics which is my favorite because I've been using it for 5 years. I've dropped it. I don't know what I've done with this. I've just thrown it out, and it still works miraculously. I don't know how. All right, so your beard is nice, man. When I first watched your video, my eyes went straight on your beard. Thank you. I'm glad it didn't went to the eyebrows. So your laptop specs. I have a very bad laptop. I gotta tell you something up front. I have a really bad laptop, and when I plug this laptop to funny thing, when I plug this laptop to the charger, it changes color on the skin. So I will not recommend a laptop like this. So if you have a budget, I would actually recommend to have a graphics card like NVIDIA 1050 or 1060 Ti, something like that, and at least 16 gigs of RAM. That's something that you need to have. And the processor, if you have the budget, always go for i7. This is a very cheap laptop, guys. So there need not to be any excuse that you don't have the right gear and you cannot start. Look, I started with the very bad gear. This has the worst i5 processor. This has the worst. It had 4 GB RAM. I paid the guy $200, 2,000 bucks extra, 2,000 INR, rupees 2,000 extra to get 8 GB RAM. It's a very cheap laptop, and you get the idea. It has a 720p screen. Come on, man. It doesn't even have a graphics card. It has an Intel integrated graphics card. So gear doesn't have to be an excuse. All right. Oh my God, I just saw now Unmesh you're live. Thank you. Thank you, Nawaz. What do you think of Mac for using Adobe products or Windows? Look, Mac builds fast laptops. Windows builds fast laptops. Depends upon what you like. It's totally upon you. Now, if you're more of an artist and if you don't want to customize and stuff, if you don't want to deal with ramps and compatibilities and connecting a lot of peripherals, go with the Windows. But if you care about design, if you care about the OS, if you care about the whole experience, Mac is the way to go. Both has its own pros and cons. Both are great laptops. That's all I have to say. But for me, for you, what is good? If you're carrying a laptop again and again to other places, if you're a forgetful person, and if you'll just lose the dongles and stuff, maybe Windows is the way to go, because Windows laptops which have the ports, those are way to go, because there are some Windows laptops which don't have all the ports. So make sure you're, especially if you're a photographer or something, make sure you buy a laptop which has all the ports, especially the SD card and all the USB ports and everything. For this live stream, you know what I'm connecting? With my laptop, I've connected a second monitor. Okay, a second monitor. I've connected this camera which you're seeing right now. It's externally connected. I have this mouse connected. I have this mic connected. So everything is connected. It has all the ports, all the USB ports, all the HDMI ports, and everything it has. So it's very easy for me. So what is easy for you? If you're looking for that experience, that smooth experience and design and something like that, Mac is probably the way to go. All right. So, all right. So maybe if you people supported your channel, you could afford a better laptop. Come on, people. what is 1 month for this great man to teach us? Thank you so much, Alan Paris. Really appreciate that. Can you leave a link to your mic? Love the sound quality. Go ahead and search in Amazon. It's available. Samson, Samson C01U Pro. Just search for it and you'll get it. Actually, I think this is the best microphone that I've ever used. I've used the Blue Yeti. I've also used the Blue, I think Blue Spark, but this is also very reasonably priced, and at the same time the audio quality is awesome, very robust. Dropped it, thrown it, awesome. All right, so you're very experienced on these tutorials. Are you a professional? Well, I don't know whether to call myself a professional or not. I just love to teach, and that's all there is. Can you make a tutorial on making actions in Photoshop? I think there's already a tutorial on that. Go ahead and search actions, and there's a lot of tutorials where I teach how to make an action. Every action video that I have, in that I teach you how to make an action. So make sure you check those videos out. So you long have mastered tools in Photoshop, like you know where to go to? How long have you mastered tools in Photoshop? Okay, so I have been using Photoshop for the last 10 years. I've just playing around with Photoshop back in the days where YouTube was not a thing and I didn't even have internet connection. Internet came to me like probably very later in my life. So after the live chat, can you post on your YouTube channel, bro? I'll see whether I can, because if you guys have any substantial questions, I'll just post it again that I'm solving right now. Okay, so let's have a look. Would you recommend editing using a laptop connected to a 40-inch Hdtv? Look, when it comes to screens, here's what I would suggest. Go to the website of that TV or whatever there is, laptop or monitor. Look at what percentage of Adobe RGB or Srgb it covers, right? The higher the number, the better. What does that mean? It means that there's a color space. Actually, let me show it to you. Let me just build a new document and let me just show it to you so that it becomes easier for you to understand. So I'll just go File, New, and I'll just show it to you. Okay, so it's building up. Until then, I'll ask about the $10 month support using Piximperfect, Twitter, and FB, but didn't get a reply. I'll just answer you. Are you a Patreon supporter? Asked a question about the $10 per month support using. Asha, you asked a question about that, but didn't get a reply yet. Man, I get a lot of messages. It's very difficult. What did you want to ask? Go ahead and ask on right now. So if I just create anything, TV question or a monitor question, if anybody is looking forward to buy a monitor, this is important for you. So there's a thing called color space. So if I go ahead and create so suppose if I create a normal rectangle, right, full of colors. So this is just a vague rectangle, right? So I'm just going to choose probably a rainbow like that. Okay. So this is the amount of colors that eyes can see. Okay. This is the amount of colors. I'll just go radial, make it radial so that it's easy for you. Probably something like, not something like that. Yeah. Something like this. So suppose this is the whole range that a human eye can see, and this is the whole range of color that exists. Now a monitor cannot represent all of it. It just cannot. So there is a color. So color spaces determine how much of a color is. Think of color spaces as spaces of color. Okay. What is a color space? Spaces of color. Now there are several color spaces like Srgb. You might have heard about it. Adobe RGB. Okay. So Adobe RGB covers a very large area. So I'll just take the brush tool on a new layer. I'll just change the color to red. Right. So suppose Adobe RGB covers this much area. Maybe the flow is slow. I'll just increase it. Okay. This much area is what Adobe RGB covers. So I'll just choose black so it's easy for you to see. All right. This much. All right. This is Adobe RGB. Adobe RGB. Excuse my handwriting. I'm doing it with the mouse. Now, there's one more color space called Srgb. Now, Srgb is a color space which is used by screens, it's used by Facebook, it's used by social media, computer, web, and everything. So Srgb captures this much, right? So that's why when you capture your image with your camera, when you import it into Lightroom and Photoshop, there are terms like Adobe RGB, Srgb, and stuff like that. Now, your monitor should cover maximum of Adobe RGB or complete of this Srgb area. Your monitor has a marking that it covers 95% sRGB or 60% Adobe RGB. So the higher the number, the better. If it's 99% Adobe RGB, it's going to be an expensive monitor. Also, the reason why I do not suggest a TV, because it's not so much customizable color-wise, especially monitors which are meant for photo editing is customizable color-wise. You can also calibrate it if you want. In high-end skin softening in 1 minute, you said we cannot smooth on highlighted area, but actually there one more way to smooth on all area without color burning problem. Can you check and make a new video? I already have the second way, which is frequency separation. Go ahead and check that out. What is your laptop one that you're using? I'm looking for an upgrade, minus 2200K, 4 GB RAM, which is very old. Yes, you need to upgrade it. All right. So if we have received a picture on Messenger or WhatsApp, so obviously it would pixelate. Yes, obviously. Please do not receive and edit pictures from Messenger or WhatsApp. They compress images like crazy. Do not do that. Okay, so can we make it low quality to high quality, or we capture a little more focus? Okay, so good question. When it comes to digital imaging, guys, I've told this before, and this is a very important thing. Just underline it, stick it in your head, or do something about it. Just write it on your wall. When it comes to digital images, you can only decrease the quality. You cannot increase the quality. What do you expect your laptop to do? Do you expect it to invent the details? If you have not captured the texture in the wall, do you expect Photoshop to come up with the texture? It's not possible, right? I made that mistake earlier. I used to think that this is possible, and it is not possible. It's just, think about it. It's not possible for a machine to discover things, right? So I'm using a UG 2150 and very pleased with the quality and the price. Great. Thank you for letting me know that. All right. So let's go ahead and quickly look at my live stream. Okay. Thank you for everybody joining in. I really appreciate that. And guys, if you have any questions, let me know. It's 8:31. I have 5 minutes more. If you guys have any questions, I'll be there to answer that. Okay. So why do PS freezes when two raw pictures are opened? Okay. So it's something that it's a Photoshop problem. Please you should always tweet to Adobe Care. If your system is strong enough, if your system is fast enough, if you're confident that that's not the problem, and if you have a legible version of Photoshop, like you have bought it, so you must tweet to @Adobe Care. They reply instantly, like within a day they will solve your problem. Just tweet to them. It's a technical problem. What is Patreon? How will the benefit of it to me as a learner? Patreon is a way in which you can support me as a creator to make more free videos. So these free videos require something called a production. They require me to research. They require my timing and all that cost. So there's a lot of cost that involved, and I make it available to you for free. So to support me, I opened up this Patreon page where anybody can donate anything monthly. And okay, and there are a couple of benefits which you will get directly. If you read the Patreon benefits section, you will see how will you get those benefits, what you need to do in order to get benefits. Some benefits I'll just personally message you. All right, so how to quickly make mask selection in a shape of an object or text and add it to the background image. Okay, how to quickly, I'm going to read that again for you. How to quickly make a mask selection in a shape of an object or text and add it to the background image. Simple. If it's a text, if it's something like, for example, why do you want to do it? I'm just wondering. So for example, if there is a text, all right, Photoshop. Okay, so let's make it a little bigger. So you can transform an active selection to a mask. If that was the question, if you can transform an active selection to a mask. So if this is that, and you can always go ahead and make a selection out of it by holding the Control or Command, clicking on the icon. This makes a selection of it. Come back to this, and you can make a mask out of this. Click on the mask button, and it creates a mask if that's what you're looking for. So how to Photoshop many photos at the same time so don't spend too much time. You can use actions. You can go ahead and check out the video on. There's a video that I created, how to compress Facebook images, how to batch process Facebook images all at once, right? Watch that video. You can use the same technique to create general adjustments for your images and save it as an action and then batch process all your images. But there are a lot of limitations to that. Every image will be edited in the same way, will be applied the same filters. I don't recommend something like that. You can use Lightroom for that. Lightroom is pretty better when it comes to those things. Not frequency separation method, bro. I checked all your videos, but I needed something more smooth with skin texture. I don't know how to explain in text. But you had one video, skin with noise texture, something like, I don't know, man, what you're talking about. You gotta show me, man. Hi, Umesh, I'm a big fan of yours. Can you make a video about wedding photo retouch, album design? Okay. So when it comes to retouching wedding photos, there's not much of a difference. You can use the same skin retouching techniques. You can use the same portrait retouching techniques, and it'll be good. Make sure that if you have a lot of images, you apply those fast techniques like the skin softening technique, 1 minute skin softening technique. Make sure you apply that when you have a lot of images. When you have just one important image, you apply frequency separation, the same things. And I already have an album design tutorial right in there. Go ahead and check that out. And you can customize it the way you want. Okay, so are you a photographer too? Yes, definitely. Okay, I'm from Colombia. Great to have you here. So guys, I have 3 minutes, so 3 more minutes if you have any questions. I'm new to PS. I had to print few pictures in A3. I set the canvas to required size and 300 resolution. Then I dragged the HD image onto it, but got pixelated. It will get pixelated because A3 is a big size. You're dragging in an HD image. What is the resolution of HD? 1920 1080. So your image has to have at least 300 pixels per inch. A3 is a huge image. So I don't think if you have 300 pixels per inch, HD is enough. HD is not enough if you're talking about full HD. And if you just talk about HD, it's 720p, 1024 into 720. It's very less. You have to have something of higher resolution. Okay, so how to blur bokeh in low light background. I have a tutorial, man. Go ahead and check that out. I can't undo the erased parts while masking. Used to color but didn't work. I cannot undo the erased parts while masking. Used white color but didn't work. Undo the erased parts. Okay, so if you have created a mask, so this is a mask as you can see. Okay, this is a mask. Let me set the background to dark gray. Take the brush, paint in any area that you want to erase. So suppose if you paint this area in black, that area will get invisible. Simple. If you paint an area with white, I'm just pressing X to toggle between the foreground and the background, that area gets visible. As simple as that. Okay, so what is the keyboard shortcut to flatten an image? It is, I think, Control. If you just go ahead and click it, Control or Command E. If you select those, if you want to selectively do it, Control or Command E. Alright, so Umesh, can you show how to blend multiple exposures? That's a long thing that will take a separate whole new video for me to show. Okay, so last 3 questions and we are good. Right. Okay. So hi Umesh, I have one question. What to do when finish edit on my laptop? Same pic seemed too dark on cell phone display. How to calibrate? Good question. Thank you so much for asking. You see, the cell phone is not calibrated well. It's very bad. Even I have a cell phone and I have used a lot of phones. iPhone saturates images. Samsung has its own tone. People do stuff. So the thing is not to go by cell phone. Do not go by what the cell phone is showing you. Go by what the laptop or the monitor is showing you. And also make sure your monitor is calibrated. You can use or rent a device like Spider 5 or Color Monkey. There's a lot of devices that just sticks to your monitor, calibrates it. That's pretty much good to go. Cell phone has its own thing. Also make sure, please make sure if you're uploading something to social, if you're transferring it to your cell phone, make sure you convert the color profile to sRGB. And that's all there is. So thank you so much guys for joining in. I really appreciate that. I really wished if you guys had some questions from the last week's tutorials, because you guys leave a lot of comments on how to do this. I have a doubt, this question. But I don't know why, but you guys didn't ask any questions today about the tutorials I uploaded last week and last week. So next week or next to next week, I'll be coming out with more live sessions, and I'll be having these live sessions to answer your questions which you might have outside of the tutorials, and also the questions which you might have off the tutorials. Thank you so much for guys for joining in. I really appreciate that. Bye everybody. Take care. Have a great day. Have a great night if it's night there for you. Good night and take care. And don't forget to keep creating.